Wisconsin, let's do this thing. How's it going, everybody? Happy Faded Friday. Hope your evening is going well. It is somebody asked me the other day how many episodes we've done. I don't know. That is a good question. If anybody wants to check for me, that'd be cool. Otherwise, I will add that to the list of downtime activities. See if we can't figure out where we're at with that. So, looks like everything is good to go. Looks like we're on here for Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. Instagram, the comments don't come through, so apologize if you comment over there. They don't play nice with StreamYard. But appreciate every swinging by. And if you are watching the replay, if you can leave us a comment, we appreciate you watching it as well. And always like to keep track of that. So I'd like to always start things out with a quick thank you and kudos to the fine folks at Higher Love, proud partner of the podcast. Make sure you check them out up there in the UP. Jill is in the house. What's up, Jill? Thanks for swinging by. Also, Ignite Dispensary. Can't talk this evening. Appreciate everything they do. If you're looking for cannabis in Wisconsin, highly recommend checking them out, especially that new lounge out there in Manitowoc. It's pretty dope. We're working on a game night, so stay tuned on that. I wanted to start tonight. We do have a couple of events I wanted to share with you guys. I got a few more details. Let me see if I can share my screen, like always. Gets kind of crazy around here, so let's see if this works. All right, here we go. So we've got coming up here June 8th, so just a couple weeks away. We're going to be teaming up with our friends at the Great Midwest Hemp Fest. I'm looking forward to, it's called Brews and Buds. It is a pre-festival rally for Hemp Fest. Going to be a great time. Looking forward to being there. We're going to have a couple of guest speakers, cannabis advocates, that kind of things. Tom, what's up, man? Right, hey, oh, wow, you guys are here. He's here. Green Swan Hemp. What's up, guys? Appreciate y'all swinging by. Just going over a couple of events here. So, again, Milwaukee, this is going to be June 8th. I think there's a list of a couple of things we're going to be doing. I want to show that to you guys. So, we're going to have a DJ on the loading dock. That just sounds dope. Live music all afternoon. Free group brewery tours. Suggested donation of $20. Excuse me. We've got vendors, live mural art, a raffle with $500 in local gift cards and goodies. That's what's up. A photo booth, speakers, and of course the Hemp Fest will be there as well. So again, this will be pretty cool. This is going to be right next to a skate park. And there's going to be some skating and BMX showcasing next door. So Chevin's here from the mountains. Thanks for checking in, man. He probably got this big old satellite so that he can reach us all the way over here in Wisconsin. But we appreciate you being here, brother. Much love, much love. So, again, this is June 8th in Milwaukee. Looking forward to that, Brews and Buds. And then also got some information on Vibin' in the Pines, which you're going to be at. Looking forward to this one. Heard a lot of great things about it. This is over in Rosehalt. Let me see. Rosehalt is by Stevens Point. That's what it was. Okay. I knew there was somewhere I knew because I definitely don't know Rosehalt. I'd be lying if I said I did. So looking forward to Vibin' in the Pines this year. I think it's like 3-day festival. Let's get back to the details. This is from the 15th through the 18th. So yeah, that'll be a few days. We're going to be set up there. Can be pretty dope. John's here. What's up, my man? Thank you for swinging by. We appreciate you. Again, a couple events coming up. This is August 15th through the 18th. Might be a little warm. They do have indoor location as well for a couple other booths that are going to be set up. But really looking forward to that. There's going to be a lot of activities, glass blowing, live music. They're actually going to it's children friendly as well. Some children activities. And as you know, we'll probably be checking out some samples and sharing some products. So make sure you're there. Really looking forward to that. So that's what we got for events coming up. I wanted to share those with you guys. Hope everybody's week went well. If you had anything interesting you want to share with the group, let us know, cannabis related or not. We're just like a big family. So we're always wishing well for everybody. Nothing but success. And quick follow-up for this week. Had a great chance to sit down with a pair of lobbyists down in Pewaukee this week. They are, I would say, Republican lobbyists, Republican background. One was actually the state representative for some time, and both are optimistic about lobbying for cannabis. So we got a few more talks and ideas as far as legitimate ways to move forward. Looking forward to touching base with those guys next week to see if it's not something we can get the ball rolling on. As we know, we're going to need a lot of work on the Republican side, it seems. So looking forward to hopefully linking up with a couple guys that have a good take on politics from that side of things. As far as the politicians who are in office, they had a good pulse on where a lot of people were, ideas on how to get them to come around on cannabis and how to make this not a bipartisan issue. So keep you posted on that, but really hopeful for that. It's been a minute since I've felt like I knew where to go next with politics. So that's exciting stuff. Keep you posted on that. Wanted to share with you, we had some cool stuff in the news, and I always try to keep it unbiased. So, oh shoot, I think I just closed out what I needed for the one part here, but that's okay. I'll get it while I'm showing you guys the video, hopefully. Here is what I wanted to show you, though. Why can't I get it to pull up over here? There we go. Video, big video. Here we go. I'll just be the little guy while we check this out. Wanted your take on this.
This is monumental. Today, my administration took a major step to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule I drug to a Schedule III drug. It's an important move toward reversing long-standing inequities. Today's announcement builds on the work we've already done to pardon a record number of federal offenses for simple possession of marijuana. And it adds to the action we've taken to lift barriers to housing, employment, small business loans, and so much more for tens of thousands of Americans. Look, folks, no one should be in jail merely for using or possessing marijuana, period. Far too many lives have been upended because of failed approach to marijuana, and I'm committed to righting those wrongs. You have my word on it.
So it was nice to see the rescheduling come from the president. Oop, I didn't mean to hit that. I always don't want people to think I'm playing left or right. We need everybody. So I did just also want to provide, this was from just a second take. I don't want to just be people thinking like, oh, Biden, he's trying to push Biden on us. They all need help. We need everybody working together. But this was after he announced that. This was on CNBC, and this gentleman is with Curaleaf. So I wanted to see their take. I know a lot of concerns that a lot of people have in the industry are this is not good for dispensaries, that kind of thing, the rescheduling. So I didn't actually get a chance to watch this yet. It wasn't buffering, but it looks like it's working now, and wanted to share this with you guys. So we're going to check it out together, see what we think's going on here.
Joining us this morning is Curaleaf's co-founder and chairman, Boris Jordan, whom we've checked in on, Boris, several times on this legal journey. How significant is this one in the chapters we've already seen?
I think, Carl, this is very important for the industry and a real milestone, because 50 years ago, the U.S. last reviewed cannabis for rescheduling from Schedule I to Schedule III. For political reasons, it didn't happen at the time. This time, the government seems to be taking a much more serious approach to it based on science. And I think this decision to move forward with this is really important for two reasons. The first is that it will allow for research, very much needed medical research on this plant and the various cannabinoids in this plant to take place. And it's government-funded research can happen under Schedule III. And also, it relieves the industry from the capricious and unconstitutional 280E tax, which has been burdening the industry very, very much over the last 10 years. And so these two things are very positive developments that will come about on the back of this rescheduling.
Right. That latter part, I remember a piece in Politico a couple of months ago about the federal tax code, which at this point prohibits a lot of companies in the space from, say, writing off business expenses, makes it more difficult to turn a profit. We would see that ostensibly in the bottom line?
Yes. So the real effect of this is that basically the industry pays approximately a 70 to 75% tax, if I can summarize it that way, versus other companies in the United States that pay a 21 to 22% tax. So it has been a very, very profound effect on the industry. For Curaleaf, just to put things into perspective, relieving or rescinding this tax will contribute $150 to $200 million day one to the bottom line of the business based on this year's projected revenues.
Wow, that's a remarkable figure there. And those taxations is also part of the contribution to a black market as well, right? And so if this rescheduling decision does go through, ultimately, I know there's a comment period and some other things that need to take place. What would that do for the black market? Would it be a boon to you to see some of that black market business go back into the legal sector?
I think it would help our industry very much, but I also think it helps the safety for the industry, right? Consumers today are buying black market products because they're cheaper due to this capricious tax that we pay. We will be able to bring down prices, forcing consumer to go to the regulated market where products are safe and tested. And I think this is the most important thing. Consumer will be better off, safer at a better price with this tax being relieved. And also, social equity licenses, small entrepreneurs that can't operate basically in this industry due to this tax will also be able to prosper. And that's really important for the industry.
Boris, assuming that is, the rules of the road going ahead, how do you see the industry developing in terms of how fully penetrated it is between black market and legal product? And are you just talking about trying to grab market share among what's already out there in the business? I've been trying to figure this out for a while.
Well, the U.S. industry is estimated to be approximately the total industry about $100+ billion. The legal industry today is around $30 billion. So you have $70 billion that's in the illicit market today that will most likely start to move much quicker into the legal regulated market, therefore giving regulated players much more strength to operate and much better financial health, which I think will then lead to consolidation industry, but it will also lead to a lot more entrepreneurship in the industry, which will allow new businesses, craft growers, craft companies to start to develop because they'll be able to write off their expenses and not have to pay this very exorbitant high tax.
Interesting. Again, I know he is, like the CEO of Curaleaf, but I wanted his take because obviously if it is, there seems to be a lot of fear right now, and unfortunately, rightfully so, when it comes to what is the government going to give us, because it's all going to be about the details they put in it. But the fact that he seems to think it's going to be good for business, that's some positivity, I would say. And hopefully, like he's talking about, letting people be able to grow because they can write stuff off, or smaller setups, entrepreneurs. That's the word. Jeez. Man, I really hope this isn't just a thing to get votes. It's always hard to say because, again, politics, I feel like you or I have a pretty good take on what politics should be like. And unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be how it typically is. But we got to take it for what we can. Again, president's talking about rescheduling. That gives me better hope that things are going to change. It does lead to, like a gentleman had brought up here, where did that go? We got Thomas brought up a good point. Are they going to start controlling it more? I sure hope not. But again, it's going to be the devil in the details. But I thought it was good to see the president talking about it today, if that is a legitimate thing. And hopefully we're working together on this for real. What do we got here? Ron says, I've been waiting 45 years. Another one isn't going to be an issue. Felt that, man. Allowing people to grow at home also eliminates the black market 100%. We definitely need home grow in there. Did we talk Farm Bill yet? We did not yet. We've got that on the list here, Waldo. When people come to Clark County and tell them that cannabis is good for people, otherwise don't tell me to have faith. Valid point. And then we've got the feds will leave it to the states to control cannabis. That's probably what will happen. So again, Schedule 3, big topic, details. We need to see what's going on. Randall, what's up, my man? Thank you for swinging by. Hope your week is ending well. Happy Friday, Faded Friday. Did he say craft or corporate? Yeah, right. He said craft, but we'll see what he meant there, vibing. We got some news to go along with things here. If I can get that rolling, that'd be great. I'm going to bring this over here. Now this, I don't know how this could have happened. This just seems silly to me, guys. How the heck did cannabis end up at the state capitol? I can't believe it. Did you guys see a picture of this? This is crazy to me. How could that happen? Cannabis is so bad. It should not be in the wild. It should not be at the state capitol, nonetheless. This is crazy. I wanted to pull up. I saw somebody take a picture with that. See if I can get the article here. All right, boom, there we go. Cannabis was spotted near the state capitol in Wisconsin. What? This is crazy. I don't know if I don't know if I believe it. Cannabis is so bad, though. Let's see. I wanted to see if they shared. Oh, come on. Get this out of here. I didn't see the picture. There's some good pictures of it. Cannabis is sprouting up at the Capitol in Wisconsin. And they don't know what to do about it. Well, they're removing it. But some people ask them, is it hemp or what is it? They should test it. But yeah, it was popping up all over the city, the state capitol. Here we go. There you can see it. It was growing by the tulips, as if somebody took a bunch of seeds and just spread them out. Very bizarre. I don't know. Kind of crazy to me. We do not have the expertise to confirm whether the plants are cannabis, but our facility staff have examined the area and removed the plants. Interesting. I don't know how that would have happened. Do you guys know how that could have happened? Because I don't know how that could have happened. So keep your eye out if you're at the Capitol, if there's any left. But that is awesome. Keep it up. Keep it up, whoever it is out there. Pete says whoever did that isn't the hero we need, but the hero we deserve. I second the motion. That is a hero for sure. Penalties are just reduced with the rescheduling. Gotcha. All right. Johnny Appleseed says, Ron, something like that, man. I don't know. Pretty crazy. Crazy people out there. We've also got, I wanted to see what the Germans got going on over here. Looks like they had to make some changes. Again, we like to check in to see when places go legal. What are some of the issues they run into? It looks like we got some stuff going on over here in Germany. So wanted to dive into that. If I can find the right screen there. There we go. Diane, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, Jill, somebody must have been out there just throwing seeds into the soil. Kind of crazy. German lawmakers are set to consider amendments to their legalization law that took effect last month, with committees of the nation's parliament scheduled to begin debate on changes related to cultivation at social clubs and impaired driving. Okay, so what do they got going on? So adults can possess and grow cannabis for themselves, but there's no sale model in place yet. Looks like there's scheduled for a debate today would set a per se THC limit for impaired driving. So they must be testing. Oh, here we go. Here's where it gets into detail. The legislation was expected to prove more controversial given a lack of scientific evidence supporting the efficacy of such policies. Would make it so drivers would be considered impaired if they have more than 3.5 ng per milliliter of THC in their blood. It's expected to be referred to the Transportation Committee. So it looks like they must have some sort of testing in place that they're trying to make sure they got the right limits set. That sounds interesting. I don't know what the 3.5. I'd be interested to know, what the normal gummy does to a person, or like you or I, who are functioning in high under the influence. I wonder what that 3.5 falls at. But I suppose they didn't have a chance to think about that before they got things rolling with legalization. Now that's coming up as far as something that needs to be figured out. So again, something to keep an eye on when we're talking about things for our state. We need to figure out where a good number is for that. It also looks like they're moving forward with the second phase of legalization to create a pilot program for commercial sales. Currently examining the commercial sales plan. They're under increased pressure to expedite the process. Okay. Javin says, whatever that is, I would exceed it 24/7, right? I would assume you would. We've got this here. We've got Brandon swung by. Hey, Brandon, what's going on, man? What's good, Bobby Beans? Love your podcast and all your streams. Also, everything you do to support and keep on going to get this movement going. I know you can do it, brother. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that very much. That means a lot, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by to leave that as well. Appreciate that. Hope you have a great weekend. So it looks like they've got here Germany's federal cabinet approved the initial framework in late 2022. Government also said it wanted to get the sign off from the EU. A group of lawmakers visited the U.S. and toured California cannabis businesses. Okay. Visit came after Germany. Found Germany support. Yeah, that's all they talk about, which is interesting because I was hoping that we'd get a little more about what they were talking about with the social clubs. I know that's something that, to me, I would really like to see. As far as I just feel like it would really help society, being able to hang out and relax. Essentially, that's what they're talking about. For the impaired driving is what their concern is with that, which is understandable. And I think it'd be really neat if you could. I know this sounds easy, but if you could figure out a way to get some kind of really discounted like Uber rides, or like maybe have like a membership fee to be a part of this club, the social club. But part of that is like you get half off Uber rides or something. I feel like if you could get a ride to a place that's like $5, I feel like that's, in today's world, $5 is almost nothing because it doesn't buy you anything, sadly. But if you could figure out a way to bring the cost of that down a little bit, I think that's your answer there. As far as then you don't have to worry about how people are getting there or going home. Make it a super easy rideshare program. But again, sounds easy. I'm sure it takes a little bit of work. I don't know if any of you guys saw, but Minnesota, some home growers were filing a suit. They had found something written a ways back. Let me see if they've got it on here. So it's over 100-year-old provision that allows people to sell things that they grow without having a retail license. So this was filed in Ramsey County District Court. They're going after the state, and they pulled up the lawsuit claims Article 13, Section 7 of the Constitution, which has adopted 120 years ago, supersedes the state's new cannabis laws, is what they're saying. According to that provision, any person may sell or peddle the products of the farm or garden occupied and cultivated by him without obtaining a license. Hey, if that's what the law says, that's what the law says. I'm sure it's not just that easy, but kudos to these folks for finding something to try to get to stick. In my opinion, it should be able to be done. It's just like if I grow tomatoes, you want some, I'll more than likely give them to you. But, if I got to take care of the family, I might ask you for $5 for a bushel or something. Like, yeah, let's do that with cannabis. I would love to see it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm for it. Looks like stakeholders are concerned that, what were they saying? I'm reading 3 articles at one time. Lawsuit also asks the court to block any criminal enforcement of the sale of cannabis produced from home cultivation without a license. Okay. Get it, man. That's what the law says. I'm on these guys' side. I don't know about you guys, but I think they got a great point. Let's do it. Let's let it happen. Let's do farmers markets with cannabis. That would be the ultimate outcome of all this, is if we can figure out something like that. So, Adam, what's up, man? Thanks for swinging by. Appreciate it. I'm really slow on Instagram comments because it's the only one that doesn't come through our streaming provider. So I only see your guys' comments when I click off the tab, but half the time I exit out of stuff. So I apologize to the Instagram family. We're trying to really get you guys hooked up, but I'm trying to remember to check over there. So I appreciate you guys. Jeff says, and you can ferment many foods to make alcohol. So similar scenarios, right? They won't let that happen unless you're not allowed to sell to the public and it's for your own consumption, right? Sadly, I don't have a lot of faith in this happening, but kudos again to these folks for trying it. We should go back to trade and borrow days. Yeah, I'd be down for that. We all just specialize in our own little thing and take care of one another. Work as one instead of paying the government like 50% of everything we make by the time you figure out taxing when we buy, sell, earn, and then they're supposed to like protect us and take care of us. And I don't even know. The more I think about politics and just government and stuff, the more it's like, man, I don't even want to know how it works. Like, I just want to undo it, fix it. Barter is still a viable trade. This is true. Jeff says, what's up with THC in Illinois? It's all THCA that I've seen and not THC. Again, those two are the same things, especially in legal counties. You're going to have differences. Like Michigan went through a spurt there where they were labeling THCA. It takes a minute, but if you can find an article or a video that explains all flower product has THCA in it. All flower does. But labels sometimes say THCA and sometimes say THC. But to figure out the difference between the two, you just take THCA times 0.877. That tells you what the THC is in it. Because when you light it, you lose 0.133, which brings it down to the THC form. But again, all flower is actually THCA. You can't eat flower and get high. It needs to be lit on fire. You need to lose 0.133% of it. Get your THC content. That's what it is. It's crazy. It's just please trust me on that. That is how that works. Labeling is super confusing when you're talking in different states. Mitch says, what are you looking for your home consumption? More open dispensaries, place that focuses on cannabis, but also has other things for sale, a place where you can bring your children, just like in the grocery store where you can buy alcohol, a place where you don't have to have a security guard at the front door, a much more comfortable shopping environment. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope, Mitch. I agree with that. Ron says, so there's a formula. Yes, Ron, to get to THC. So anytime you've seen THC listed on something, they had to, on flour, they had to set it on fire to get to that number because that's how it works. They need to tell you how high you're going to get, right? And you're going to smoke the flour. So they decarboxylize it. They light it on fire, and it loses 0.133 of its value. So you take 0.877 times the THCA content of any flower, and you get your THC content. It was nice for a minute there. People were doing, or even some places will do THCA and THC on the same label, and then you can do that math, and then it makes sense. That's how I was able to most easily get people to understand that. But now most people are, I think for a minute, people switched, or legal states switched to THCA, but then they saw that consumers were thinking that it wasn't THC, so then they switched it back, but some didn't. I don't know. The regulations and labeling is way, way more confusing than it should be, in my opinion. But 100% agree with you, Mitch. I think if we could get it to, man, just an enjoyable experience wherever you go. It doesn't have to be that's really good. A comfortable shopping environment. I like that, 100%. So again, kudos to Minnesotaites for figuring something out. I know it's a uphill battle, but it is a plant. I wish I could support them somehow. Not that it would mean anything unless you got money to donate, because unfortunately that's how politics work today. But I hope you guys get that figured out, because you can set the precedence for us over here too whenever we finally go legal. Josh is in the house. What's up, man? Happy Friday, buddy. Hope your day is going well. Josh is here. He's part of the fam. This sounded interesting. We've got, whoop, that's not the one. AI is making cannabis cultivation smarter. This sounded interesting because the first thing I thought of was robots are going to take over, man, because they're going to figure out how to grow weed. And then they're going to figure out a way to make their soil more potent, not tell us what the recipe is. Something. I don't know. Where's Danny? I know, right? That's a great question. I've seen cannabis is from Sativa, indica, the ruderalis. I wonder if there's any pure strains left. That's a great question. Not a lot, is my understanding. But Ron says, "Is there a link to that transition formula?" I don't know that there's necessarily a link. I just know if you go THCA to THC. So basically, let me just see if I can find. I had seen something the other day that I think might help us. Where did it go? Hang on now. Y'all just take it easy over there. I wanted to see if this actually had the number on it. So actually, most flour, if you look at the COA, certificate of analysis, that's how I found that number initially. It's just a scientific thing, though. Like here it says, take 87.7% of the value for THCA, then add it to the value for THC. This formula holds true for finding the active CBD content, so you can do that with CBDA as well. If you do a little digging, so it's I kind of feel like some of the hemp industry makes THCA a little confusing, because if everyone knew, then you wouldn't be able to probably buy it in illegal states like Wisconsin. So THCA is kind of like a underground thing, I guess. I think that's specifically why usually when you type what is THCA? Usually your first few articles are, oh, it's just non-intoxicant, but like anything where you can get a little deeper, yes, it's non-intoxicant till it's lit on fire. Then it's the same. It is what you're getting in Michigan. It's a whole. I wish I could just have like a little booth, show you guys in person. It'd be way easier than us trying to do all this on here. But yeah, so basically this is the formula. Total THC equals the THC percentage, because every strain does have some THC, but it's minuscule. It's usually under 2% for sure, typically under 1%. And then you add in the THCA. So just that little bit of THC that's actually in the raw form is a fifth of or only 5% of what actually gets you high. It's crazy. It's way more complicated than it needs to be. So what's the difference between hemp-derived THC and cannabis-derived THCA? That part's a little confusing. So when it comes to flower, I think when you're reading hemp, there is no difference between it's when it's tested, essentially, because any strain grown and sold in Michigan, if you chopped it 2 weeks early, you could probably get it to test a little lower when you send it out for testing 2 weeks early. But then as it cures and dries, it's going to get to the same numbers, or right to where it's so stupid. It's way more stupid than it should be. But there is good THCA in Wisconsin. But you want to make sure that it is tested and from a legitimate source, which is the tough part. So THCA label is a term to overcome the legal aspects. Got it. So if we start to legalize with a label transfer to normal, I would think so. Correct. Because THCA was really kind of not a big, well, you didn't really see it anywhere up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when it was kind of figured out that, well, wait a second, technically speaking. So yeah, Mitch just bought a bag from Higher Love that was like 0.9 Delta 9 or 0.9 THC. So very little, 0.9 THC, 0.9%, and then 28% THCA. So the total THC of that product is going to be like 26%. It's a legal loophole, correct. But again, it's tough. You want to make sure you're getting it from a trusted source. There were and still are people who just take hemp and spray it with THCA, which is, to me, not the safer way to go about it. Right, the stuff that Mitch got from Higher Love was almost legal to sell here. If they would have chopped that same plant, probably even just a week early, sent it out for testing, finished the drying process, it probably would have came back at 0.4, which would have been good. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right, so AI cannabis cultivation. Let's see what they got going on. Oh, we had another gentleman swing by here. Where'd that go? I lost something. Gaming with green. I love it. That's dope. What's up, man? Thanks for swinging by. Is there any way to test for chemicals or pesticides? The good places do when you go to a shop and you can test the COA. The COA, in my opinion, should show you that stuff. There shouldn't be anything to hide. If you scan the label and it only shows you THC and CBD, that's where I get a little, well, why aren't we doing a full panel? So it's up to, again, you wanna make sure whoever you talk to is educated on where the stuff is coming from, because you want to know what you're consuming. All legal states test for pesticide. They're supposed to. Well, that's a whole nother. There's some that send to labs that don't test for pesticides, and that's just infuriating. But they should be testing for pesticides. Liquefied THCA oil. There you go. Cost, but I definitely agree. Right. So let's see what we got going on with this AI cultivation. Let's see what they've got. Maybe they can. Oh, here we go. Machine learning is becoming increasingly common in indoor cannabis grows as cultivators use sophisticated sensors and cameras to maintain optimal growing. Conditions sound the alarm about threats such as pest or disease and, reduce labor costs associated with both cultivation tasks. Let's see here. Cannabis has always been the enabler of some of these bleeding edge technologies. So basically what they've been able to do with the machine learning or how they're implementing it is the labor, energy, and other resources required to grow cannabis indoor are expensive, and technology powered by AI can reduce the cost. So basically they're using it to figure out consistency, is what it sounds like. For now, AI is powering sophisticated data collection, monitoring solutions, and technology can help identify pest diseases and leaf discoloration. You've established that you can do consistency across that baseline. I've actually seen, I don't know if you guys have seen these. And actually, I know somebody around here who got one. Obviously, they grow in a legal state because we can't do this activity in Wisconsin without a license, which I do have, hemp grower's license. Automated cannabis grow tent. I was pretty impressed. He was showing it to me. It was checking out a few different things as far as humidity level, that kind of thing. See if you guys can see that on the screen. So yeah, this is pretty neat. This will do. It's got like a camera in it. It watches. It's called a smart grow tent. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Josh, our next one, we got Milwaukee, June 8th. We're going to be in Milwaukee, June 8th at the Brew and Buds. I'll have a link up on that shortly. And then we'll be at Vibin' in the Pines, August 15th through the 18th. Looking forward to that as well. So yeah, this has got it essentially what these guys are doing with AI, but on a much smaller scale. It was pretty cool because the camera's watching the grow or watching the plant, and it's telling you, hey, if there were, for it, his weren't discolored, but if it were discolored, it would say, hey, it looks like iron needs to be added. Here's how you do that. 2 weeks, you're right at the 2-week measurement, that kind of thing. It's pretty crazy. When it comes to humidity control, I think it'd be pretty handy. My grow, I had it wasn't like a smart semi-smart, I guess. Like they weren't talking to each other. So like just my humidifier, I had this whole temp sensor coming over here. I had a fogger from like a pond machine to make the mist that was plugged into a smart outlet that would run it on a cycle. But again, that was just a time cycle, but then it would cut the fan on when it got to a certain humidity. So like the fact that they could all start talking together, that could be pretty awesome, but also sounds very expensive. When you look at like a grow tent, being, 6 plants right here is $1,500 for this system. So that's the only thing that I wish there is. Real quick, Jeff says there's no legality on growing hemp in Wisconsin at your home. Is it legal? If you have a hemp grower's license, which all you got to pay for is your background check. You can actually, there's two routes. One's like $20 and one's like $50. You can either buy a kit, do your fingerprints, and send them into the FBI. They got to clear you. Or you can go to the post office. There's a couple post offices, usually one by you, that you can go to and do it. It's a quicker one, but there's no charge for the actual license. But you do need a report to make sure that everything's legit, that kind of thing. But Ron says, curious, when I buy THCA products, I've gotten seeds in them. Are those viable? It's a great question. Possibly. No. I don't know. That's a great question. I suppose it depends on. I would throw it in there, see what happens. As of right now, Jeff, that is my understanding. Any kind of a felony, you're not able to. I know on the new farm bill, and actually that's what we're talking about next. So let me just pull that up. Got some information on the potentials for the new farm bill. Obviously, they're still working on it, so these things could change. Let me see if I can pull it up for you here. Where did it go? Excuse me. Like now you guys got me. I got so many tabs open and windows on. What the hell is going on over here? Excuse me. This is an audio. I don't want to listen to every part of it. Here we go. A deep dive into the bill. Is this it? Hopefully, please. Building conservation. I had a great article earlier today, but it sounded like they were looking to get rid of the felony for hemp, but I don't know. It sounds like they're trying to differentiate between if you're growing for alternative cannabinoids, so like THCA, hemp-derived delta-9. If you're that is going to be classed. They're looking to classify that as a certain form of hemp, as opposed to just growing for hemp and fiber, seed fiber, that kind of stuff, textiles. So I don't know if that was for both that they were looking to take off the felony. And of course, now I've got, this is way too in depth. I've got way too many bookmarks. That's my issue. I see stuff, I bookmark it, and then when I try to go through it, there's so many bookmarks now. Some surely will be, says Mitch. Correct. They definitely could be just as good a possibility as any other cannabis. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Crap. I apologize, guys. I'll have to figure out where that went, but it sounded like there was like no mention of Delta 8 or that kind of stuff. Here, is this it? No. Wait. Yeah, this is going to take, these articles are way too in depth. So I'll have to get the details on that so I can help explain what they're looking at doing that with you guys. So, the Hemp Roundtable released a good article. All right. Hemp Roundtable, Farm Bill. Let's see if I got that here. No word on intoxicating hemp. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I apologize, guys. Some of you guys I know are interested in that, and I'd love to go over that with you guys, but these are really deep with what they're telling us, which is good, just not what we need at the moment. Waldo says they're looking to amend the bill and specifically make an intoxicating cannabinoid or any detectable trace of THC illegal, even in CBD. Okay, so maybe I didn't get that far into it. I didn't know that was... Who knows what they got? I'm definitely going to get that ready for Monday. We'll kind of highlight that. My seeds are growing up, and they are from cannabis I got. Okay, that's what's up. But there will be a push from the hemp industry to oppose it. That's what I would assume. Again, when I met with the Republican lobbyist earlier this week, for those who didn't catch it in the beginning of the show, I'm excited that they definitely see a path forward. They're considering taking on cannabis. They're lobbyists. They've been around for a while. The one was actually a majority leader, a state representative for Wisconsin, and I'm really hoping to get those two on board to lobby with us, to lobby for us. They had great ideas on how we get the Republicans on board, and because again, this shouldn't be a partisan issue. We need to work together, and they had some great ideas on how we make that happen. So that was really exciting. I'm hoping we get to do that because, like I was explaining to them, we want to see alternative cannabinoids and legalization. It should be, we shouldn't just look at one benefit of the plant. And you guys know what good hemp-derived Delta-9 does, or what good THCA is. There are good products out there, and in my opinion, they have a place. Waldo says if it happens, we're screwed here. Everyone will have to drive over state lines to buy legal THC. I've had great conversations with Patrick Teston. Well, I'll have to add him to the list. Good to know. Good to know. So that's what we got for this week, guys. Friday, again. Hopefully everyone's having a great week. Hopefully you got some fun playing this weekend. Should be nice out there. Enjoy it. Again, this fight for legalization can get frustrating. And actually, just a week or two ago, I kind of wake up and just be like, we're failing. What? They're not even in session. But it's about working together, and it's one day at a time. We got to just remember that. We can't get back to that mindset of, oh, it's not going to happen. We're wasting our time. No, we need to just keep growing this thing. We need to keep making noise. We're doing this thing. We're getting noticed. Okay. I'm working on getting some Republican lobbyists so that we can really get this thing rolling. But we also got to enjoy our downtime. So have some fun with the family. Appreciate everybody. Keep dodging those June bugs. Man, they scared the shit out of me, dude. And then that bird. That was a bird, too, okay? It wasn't just the June bugs that were coming for me. It was the birds. So where have you found? Have a great night. Feel free, Wisconsin. Keep it the fight. It will happen. Hey, appreciate that, guys. Have a great night. And has a great story about his dad. Cool. I got to catch up with these comments. You guys have a great night. This is the podcast, and Bobby Beans is out of here. Later, guys.